So as you can see, we've got a bit of a tricky situation in there, in the sense of what it is. We got plasterboard on the ceiling and across the opening there, which is obviously an RSJ. And then we got some really shiny paint, which has had some chasers in it, and they've been made good with, looks like, bonding. And it looks like that was done quite a long time ago as well. So that bonding in there is bone dry. So shiny paint, bone dry bonding. Okay, so you're going to have one complete extreme to the next. So there's going to be mega high suction on that bonding. There's going to be mega low suction on that shiny paint. It looks like an oil based in there. It's an old property. It's like a paint you don't very often see these days. You know, it's an emulsion which has still, you know, still leaves a bit. It looks very sealed. It's almost like a gloss on there. And then of course there's what we floated yesterday. There's that hardwall wall, which you can see is all deviled up, and that's it, I guess. So we've got the ceiling, a couple of like walls, the architrave still up, tricky little alcove, and we've got high suction on that hard wall, although it was done yesterday over brickwork. And then we got that tricky bit to do around the opening where the plasterboard is over the RSJ. Now yesterday I floated that area out and I haven't treated it, and I'm thinking I might have to seal it up, and what I've got available on this job for me is a bit of SBR. Kills a lot of suction, that. So I might treat it up with that. The alternative is to treat it as one thing, you know, and not put any SBR on it and use the suction to send it down. But the thing is, it will go down so quick, I'd only really be able to do that one wall at a time, because what will happen is you put the plaster on, it will draw the moisture out of that plaster, the multi-finish, really quickly. So you kind of have to put it on really neat, turn back round, and you could probably use the same bucket of gear to lay it down, because as soon as you got that first coat on, the moisture will be stripped out of it, and it'll be that layer on the wall then will be much more advanced than what the gear is that you got left in the bucket. So you'll be able to put the second coat on it, but you'll have to give it all your attention until you get that under control. So it's probably not beneficial to do that. So I probably will SBR it at some point. But as you can see, we got cooker in the way. There's a logistic issue here. So there's only so much you can really do, isn't there? So yesterday I did treat that painted surface with a neat coat of SBR over those dry chases of bonding as well. The chases, the electrical chases that have been filled up with a bonding undercoat, sorry. So that should bring the suction rates there in line a little bit better. So what I'm proposing and what I'm thinking I might do, we'll see how we go. I'm going to get that ceiling on which is all plasterboard, and I might see if I can hit those really low suction walls that I SBR'd yesterday. That'd be well handy, and that'll be like a half decent hit, that will, and it's going to sit for quite a while. And then hopefully that will give me time to possibly get some SBR over that hardwall wall. I don't know. I mean, that's how we're going to hit it. I could change my mind. Should we find out? I'm just going to drink my coffee and then we will find out. Okay, again, it's a little bit difficult to film in there because the radio's on, the other guys are around and stuff. So you see what we've done. We knocked up that one bucket, got the ceiling on, got that back wall on, which is just flat on that painted surface. Then we went round the corner a little bit, didn't we? And then, because that's how much I had left, and then I checked it all and I thought this is all hanging around quite a bit. So then with the dirty water, I just washed the bucket round. I just knocked up a couple of hawkfalls, and as you saw right at the end, there's a little linking gauge, so I'm knocked up again. Just put the underside of that RSJ on, which will just make things a little bit easier when it comes to doing the side. I prefer to do one side and another, then rather than doing them both at the same time, just find it easier. Not that it makes that much difference, to be honest with you. So we are just going to sit with that, I think, for the moment. Everything's flattened in. I'll knock up and lay everything down. The ceiling's pulling in a little bit faster than those painted surfaces, which you would expect, but that far wall is actually not too bad. Oh, and you notice that's obviously where it had been previously plastered down the side of that RSJ. One side of it is the hard wall that I did the other day, and then on the other side, then we got the plasterboard bit. Then on the other side, we're back to that really low suction painted surface stuff, and you can see it's been plastered before quite thickly with a finished plaster. So I've just dubbed that out there to fill that out for when we do actually come to plaster that whole wall. So we're all second coated in there. We just need to turn back around and flatten that all in, although it's gone on in a much better condition than it did when we put it on, because we took the time to flatten things out with that 20x5 carbon steel trowel. And you can see in that little alcove there with the little angled bit of ceiling, I've kind of started straightening up because it's such a big trowel and it's straight, so it really does show it, and you can use it as a rule. So we're really able to, really straighten internals up and stuff. If you've got a smaller trowel, it will tend to roll with the contours that already exist. So it really does show things up and forces you to get things flat, not just smooth. Got to get it flat first. So there we go, guys, another little video for you. Quite a short one, this one. These videos, last couple of ones we've been doing, have been a little bit testing in the sense of being able to get camera angles. There's other people there, the radio's going, very tight little areas. But it was a very testing job in the sense of all the different surfaces we had to go over. And let me tell you, a lot of those walls in there were very, very undulated and curling round and stuff, and there was in quite a bad shape. So that 20x5 carbon steel trowel really came into play on that job, especially in the kitchen area, because when you're going to be fitting units and things that are made square and things need to be put in plumb and level and stuff, it really does help if your walls are as straight as they can possibly be. Yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of work in there and a lot of attention to getting things flat and straight as well as smooth. I mean, that is the real deciding factor whether a plasterer is worth his money or not. You know, because you can get people that go in there and they'll just smash straight over that. They might undercut you on price or something, and they won't go to the extra effort of really concentrating and making things, creating new levels. You know, they ride what's already there, and it's just like, you might as well just be putting a sheet up, you know. So you know, when you do get a relationship with a builder and they've had other plasterers in, and they you know, that if they're the ones that are going to be fitting the kitchen or painting, like say we would take the time to brush in internals and use that 20x5 to really get internals as straight as possible, and to brush it in, it really allows the painter to really cut in nicely. If there's any jaggedness there, you might not see it so much when it's freshly plastered, but when you try to cut in and paint, and so if you've got obviously a white ceiling and then you've got some colour to the wall, the ability to cut in is really severely reduced, and it will show up and make the painter's job so much harder and make his painting look rough as well. So, you know, do get a lot of compliments, may I say, from painters that have enjoyed painting after I've gone in and taken the time to make things straight. Internals, you can get away with quite a lot in the middle of the wall, because, you know, you've got so much area. If it needs to be sanded down or filled or anything, or if there's any ripples in, then they can be dealt with. But it is definitely the angles, the corners. If you can get good at them, it really does make a difference. Unfortunately, you can't really have hindsight, can you, where, you know, you say, well, this is what you could, you know, this is what you got if you got undercut on price and stuff, and then like you go in and see what they've done and say like, well, this is what you would have got if I'd done it. I know I'm blowing my own trumpet or stuff, but you know, you can see the difference. So guys, yeah, just another little video, this one, with a little bit of nature on the end. I do like a little bit of nature. Again, loads of music in it. It's just the format, the way these videos are going seems to be quite samey at the moment, and I'm not doing too much for the absolute beginner plasterer. If you're looking for tuition and guidance and stuff, then you might want to look a little bit further down the playlist, Master Smurf 74 plastering, because the initial ones we did were really went and right into one about, you know, how you put it on and this and that and this and that. So these later videos have been more about strategy, and I'm just throwing it onto some music, etc, etc. So that is what it is, guys. Right, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I've got a day off today. It's Thursday for me. I might get this up tonight, so it's gonna be Thursday for you as well. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up. And I'm going to do some stuff around the house. I told my wife, I said, it looks like I've got a day off today. Only because I finished that job early. There was some more stuff to do there, but the plumber's got to come in, and we're giving the red carpet to the plumber because he can't get in there, and he's kind of been let down, and all emphasis is getting the plumbing work done so we can move on. So I couldn't be in there today because all the plumbing stuff was all in the areas that still needed to be plastered. So I said, you know what, just take a day off. And then I tried another couple of places, guys that I do work for. I said, look, I've got a spare day, tried 3 guys. I've got a job that I've already put back until Monday, so I could have gone in there. But I've got a job to do Friday. so I didn't want to go to that job, which is going to be a long job, and then pull off there and go somewhere else Friday and then go back there Monday. So I am just having Thursday off. And yeah, I kind of regret telling my wife a little bit, because she's got all sorts of little jobs and stuff for me that she reeled off this morning at 6 o'clock this morning when we got up. So I got up quite early anyway to edit this video and get it up. So I'll get this rendered, I'll get it uploaded for this evening. So yeah, I've got things I've got to do. I was thinking about getting my hair cut. Should I? I can get it behind my ears now. I was wearing a cap for ages, so like now it's got long enough and get it behind my ears. It's not quite so annoying, and you've got to get it past that length for me now. So yeah, I might do that. I don't know. Don't forget as well, there is a Facebook group called Plaster Master Smurf 74. It's a group where you can come over and post your own bits and pieces about plastering up and ask advice and stuff. It's a little bit more easier to engage on that Facebook group, which is very nice and pleasant, I may add. There's no swearing or anything like that on there, and there's no silly questions or anything, and everybody's very respectful, because we're not tolerating any bad language or anything like that on that Facebook group. Not that I've had to. Anyway, everybody's been very, very nice on there. So the guys that are on it are obviously the guys that watch these videos and have that sort of mentality. So yeah, there's no crudeness on there. So yeah, come over to there if you want to engage with me and other plasterers. And don't forget, we will, when this 20x5 carbon steel trowel by Marshalltown does eventually turn up, there's a delay in the postage, I will be running a giveaway where you just have to tell me a joke, and then I will select somebody and give you a 20x5 carbon steel trowel for complete free, so you can experience the joys and wonders of such a large trowel. Right guys, alright, we'll wrap this up and I'll see you on the next video. Probably next week now. Alright, take it easy.